Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Happy Tuesday, or a happy rainy Tuesday. It's chucking it down in the UK at the moment. A little bit like what it was doing at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix last weekend. And it's just so uncanny that I come back and the missing box or pack 6 that I was waiting for has finally turned up. So now I'm going to be doing pack 6 of the Deagostini Collectibles release. I built the Ayrton Senna Lotus Renault 97T. So as you can see, there's 5 stages in a pack, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. But I do have, once that's completed, another 20 stages to do. Can you see how thick that is? Look, 20 stages. So you're going to see this on the channel a lot more regularly now, because what Deagostini Collectibles are doing is, while pack 6 wasn't available, they were sending the other packs, pack 7, pack 8, pack 9 and pack 10 in the meantime. But we can now continue. That's exactly what we're going to do today. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description. Also a QR code on the screen. Again, I'm not sure if this is available, but you need to check that for yourself. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So before we get on it, I think we'll just show you exactly what we've done so far, because it's been so long since we've done it. We've actually put the front end in, and as you can see, the steering's in place now as well for this. So this is how this is looking. You will notice I haven't got the John Player Special decals on at the moment. I'm going to do all of that at the end. I'm not putting them now because I don't want to get them damaged. But this car does come with that JPS livery, if you like. The only other thing that we've done is, obviously, we've done the rear spoiler, which looks just like this. So hopefully that's gave you a bit of a catch up of where we are. This is stage 22. So every stage in this build does come with a magazine. So this is what it's looking like, and we're going to do the fuel tank sending unit. Putting these parts together, some tiny parts here by the look of it. Getting this onto the car, what we created there. So by the end, it's looking just like that. Gosh, so we haven't done this for an age. This is great. Getting back to this build. Okay. So what we got here is the top of the fuel tank, looking just like that. Now, what I want to do is I want to put the sending unit into the top of that. Now, the sending unit, if I just get this out with tweezers, looks just like this. And it is just a push-in, by the look of it. It's going to go in that way there. And it's not going to need glue. Holds itself quite tight in there, no problems. Now, if I turn what we've created of the car over, so it looks like that. Hopefully you can see this on the top camera. This is going to be going into this section just here. So that when this sits in, obviously you're going to be able to see it from the other side. Now it's going to be held in with screws. Now what I am going to do is I'm just going to turn it around, because I'm right-handed, so it'll be easier for me to actually get this into place. It takes 4 of these screws, so I'm going to get these all the way in. I'm having to use a PH0 screwdriver, even though I want to use my PH1, because these are quite tiny screws actually. Now I can turn this back over, and as you can see, that's now inside there. No problems at all. I'll turn this back around so we're on the close-up camera now, so you can see that. Because we do have some tiny details to push into here now. So one's going to go in here, like that. Another one's going to go in here. They're slightly offset from each other. They go in really tight, so I don't think they're going to need any gluing in there. And then this last one, this tiny one here, it's got a D-shaped hole, so I need to make sure that I get this in here. So that should look just like that there. While I'm there, I'm going to be taking this oil tank here and the oil tank cap, just push that on top here. Now just feeling this is metal, which is pretty cool. And this is just going to go into the hole at the back, just like that there. Now the last thing we've got is a couple of connectors here, or nipples, which I just need some sprue cutters for to cut one of these off. And that one is just going to go into the hole just here. So I'll lift this whole part up so I can push that in. Now what I'm going to do, it's going to need some pushing, so I'm going to use some pliers here to help get that all the way in. I am actually going to reinforce this with some glue, because it's quite loose in there. Perfect. So that one's in place. And now all I'm going to be doing is connecting this nipple down here with this nipple on the top. And again, I don't think I'm going to need to glue this pipe in. I'm just going to check it. Nope, not going to need to glue that in. As long as I push that pipe all the way down to the bottom there, that's going to be fine. And just do the same on this side here. Excellent. And with that in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. Okay, in stage 23, here's the instructions. Looking like this, and we've got the safety belt buckles now. We're mixing it up a little bit. This is going to be a support, which is going onto the rear section, and we do have some details to put on as well. So at the end, it's going to look just like that. Everything I need's in here. Let's get this out. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking this backboard here, and I'm going to be putting the belts into the lugs that we can see just on the top. So the belts are in here. Let's get all of those out. So the way we're going to be putting these belts in is so that I'm going to be looking at the blank side, not with the Sabelt branding on there. That's going to go on there like that, probably best on the top camera. It's going to be held in with MP screws. Got them here. And get these screwed in. So one this side. We're going into plastic, so not too tight. Take the other one and put the other one in the other side here. It is good because there is a couple of lugs there which help you line this belt up as well. But let's get that into place. So that is now how that is looking. What I want to do now is these other parts of the belt here, we're going to be putting them into place. So they go in kind of like that. And that's how they're going to look from this side here. Now, they're not asking me to glue this in or anything, so I am going to put some glue on there just to keep that into place. A little bit on there, you don't need a lot. What you do need to do though is ensure that it is tight on there, just like that. Perfect. Do the same on the other side. Secret here, to keep it neat. So in through the top, the tiniest amount of glue just in the middle there, and then connect that on that side, and there we go. Simples. Now it does make me laugh that it seems to be the same time of morning that the birds come along and want to make a complete racket. So I'm having to put up with that. What I am going to do is to turn this upside down again, and I'm going to be putting the belt system on this way round, and it's just going to go into the points just on the end here like that. Is kind of holding itself there, holding that in with HM screws. So I need 2 of these, and I'm just going to put them in gently for now until I've lined it up, and then make that nice and tight. Excellent. So when I turn this over, as you can see, we now have belts in there just like that. Now we've just got a couple of fuel tank covers to put on. We've got one looking just like this. It's labelled an L for the left side, so it's going to go on here, which is going to go on here just like this. Perfect. And then I've just got the one that's labelled R, just going on the other side. There is a certain way round it goes in. If I just show you at the side the way round it goes in there, and then you mirror it on that side there. But that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 24, here's the magazine. And we're going to be doing the fuel tank and the fuel lines here. So quite a big part this is. Putting this at the base of the car here, and we've got a couple of lines to connect. So quick stage, big parts. And there you go. That's exactly how big these parts are. Get these out. And once again, I'm going to be bringing over the car and just putting it upside down here, because this tank is actually going to fit the enclosure that we've got in here. So it's going to go in here just like that, sitting on top of all the points, held in with NM screws. They're in a bag here. And I need 4 of these screws to hold this into place. Now this does have an arrow on the bottom of it. You want the arrow to be pointing towards the front of the car. It's harder than you think to actually put this in, because you need to put in opposite corners first, because you do need that to sit flat in there. Otherwise you won't get all 4 screws in there. But as you can see, that's in nice and tight. All I need then to do is put the base on. That just clips over the lugs that we've got in here. So let me just line that up and push that down. just on each corner there. Perfect. Turn this back over. And I want these black fuel lines now. And I'm going to be putting them onto the nipples on the end of these sections we put here in the stages previously. Don't worry about this coming off. I can always put that back on afterwards. So as a matter of fact, let's take that off while I get that in. Perfect. They're in all the way. Again, I don't need to glue them because they've gone in all the way. They're not coming out, as you can see. All that leaves me to do then is I've got these clear fuel lines here now, which are just going to be going into the side of this tank here. So one in this side and one here. I've put the longest one on top. I might have to switch that round afterwards. They're not actually being precise about which one goes where, but once they're in, that's all there is to do in that stage. So swiftly on to stage 25. Here's the magazine looking like this, and we've got the body bottom panel and electrical wirings. Massive section again with some piping there. Putting this onto the bottom of the vehicle, and then we've added these details including the piping here. So it's looking just like that. And oh boy, is this big. Look, check this out. This looks like a full-size car rather than a Formula 1 car base. Just going to get all the other parts out here. You'll have to excuse the glasses I'm wearing because, you know, I can't see these little parts. But look, that's how big that is. Completely metal. So what I want to do is lie this down just on my surface here, probably best on the top camera, just like that. I'm going to be putting the car on top of this. Just going to put the wires out the front. But the parts here and here are just going to, probably best on the top camera, just going to go onto these points just here and here, each side, like this. Excellent. Now they're going to be held in with KM screws initially at the front, and also KM screws just into these back sections just here as well. So I'm just lining them up. I can use my PH1 screwdriver now. So what I'm going to do is pretty similar to how I put the fuel tank in. I'm going to put one KM screw at the back here to hold that section in, and then it's opposite over the front here. Get that in nice and tight as well. Then just do the same on the other side. And there we go. That's in place. Perfect. Now this little section here, some electrical wiring. This is just going to be going into the hole that we can see just here. So I'm going to get that in. And when that's in, it should look like that. Now that's a very delicate part. I did actually break mine. I had to glue it, but I did try and put the base of it in just with pliers. So that helped to get that in the end. And I do have then this other nipple that I need to put in. And again, to stop it breaking, I have put it in pliers so I can actually put this in. This is just going to go on the other side down the bottom just here. Now if you see here, I'm starting to put these pipes into a section here. Now this is hard to show you. I'm hoping perhaps on the top camera that we have some dials just underneath the dashboard here in front of the lever. We've got two nipples just on the bottom of those dials, which I need to put these pipes through. Now these pipes here actually go through the hole in the side of the car here like this. So I'm just going to get this other one in. Now because of the fiddly place of this, I am using some glue just on the end of this because I don't want this falling out later on. And then just showing you what I'm doing on the top camera, I'm going to be just making sure these go to the outside of this lever. Just feeding them down. So one that side. This one that side. Perfect. And then as I said, they run along this inner channel here. So what I can just do is now put this back on. Oops, other way. On this side. And just the one on this side. Perfect. Because that's going to be hard to get to afterwards, but I'm glad that's now in place. I don't know if you can see that on any of my cameras. Now, one of these wires, it doesn't really matter which one, is going to go into the pin that we just put in here. So once again, I'm just checking if I'm going to need glue for this. No, it's gone in absolutely perfect. So there we go. That's in just like that. And that's all there is to do in that stage. So the last stage of this pack is stage 26. And we're going to be doing the left bank in-tank manifold, looking just like this. We're going to start creating this all together. Lots of tiny pipe work to put into place by the look of it. So it's going to look just like that at the end. So I think I am just going to do 5 stages at a time because the recording time so far for this is 1 hour. So it's taking me a little while to do this, but I do want to make sure I'm doing everything correctly here. But what I want to do first is I want to take this section here and I want to put a fuel pressure rail in. That looks just like this, and it's going to go into the holes either side here. Just push them all the way in. Now on this sprue here I've got the fuel injectors, which I'm going to need to cut some of these off. Now even though these are numbered differently, I believe they are all the same, but they do have D-shaped patterns on them. And what we're going to do with these is we're just going to be pushing them into the holes here. So get these in. Now when we put them in, I'm going to put 2 in first, just so you can see exactly how they go in, because you want to mirror pretty much what you've got there. I'm going to repeat that for all the others, but before I do that I just want to show you how the hoses go on. Now when we put the hoses in, it's best to put the one in the top first and get myself some tweezers and kind of fold this round to put the one in the bottom as well. So it should look just like that. Now one of these is considerably shorter than the rest of them, where in my one they are. I don't know if they're meant to be that way, but I'm going to put this one in as well, and we'll find that out together. But there we go. That's 2 in place like that. I'm going to repeat that for the other 2. So I do think these all should be the same length. I do have one that's shorter, and I'm sure that's probably going to cause me an issue, but let's see what they look like when they're in. And there you go. That shorter one did cause me a little issue. I couldn't get it all the way on there, but it does look just like that. And with that in place, that is actually all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. Oh, it's good to be back at that. So out of 25 stages, I've only got 20 to go. So you'll probably see this a lot more regular on the channel now. But I just think it's uncanny that I go to the British Grand Prix and I come back and I've got the missing Lotus ready to build. So that is excellent news. Now, once again, I don't know if it is available, but I have put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen, but I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.